What is up, Total Excellence? Dudes, tonight I'm going to be coloring a teaser page that, even the thumbnail itself is a teaser, right? So you dudes are just thinking like what's going to be happening in this page right here. So Paul, my good buddy here, he's going to be the guest on the show. So like when I saw this, I was like, holy cow. Elliot did a fantastic job. So it's awesome too. It's like we're in a full circle too in our because now this is going to be like my second attempt coloring Elliot's art. So, Elliot's on a roll today, dude. So definitely look in the description below. I got Paul Tucker as well as Elliot on his socials to follow him. If you guys want to work with him, whether it be a variant covers, posters, all that, hit up Elliot. But most definitely, dude, this guest I have on tonight, he's one of the most genuine human beings I ever come across in the comic scene. Okay, he's great. Coming with an open heart, cause your heart is gonna melt. So just have like some nice chocolate or hot coffee, and just relax and listen to this awesome, excellent dude while you listen to this man's voice, cause it's so graceful too. I mean, just listen to him. My good buddy, awesome writer, actually upcoming writer, as well as his debut for Demon Hunter Raven Deluxe Edition for Sunchild, his character being featured in the canon of the Demon Hunter Raven universe. Paul Tucker.
Hey, Ichthus, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing excellent, Paul. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm super excited to be here tonight. This is quite the opportunity. I appreciate it. Really do.
Yeah, no, most definitely, buddy. No, I'm honored for the opportunity that you got me to color this awesome piece right here, man. So I mean,
Yeah.
let everybody know, like in context, like what's going on here.
So, those of you who are members of my mailing list,
I'm one
you
of them.
will. This is one of them here. You got some insight into this. Dusk is so when Elliot approached me with the opportunity to do a piece related to Bump Back, I wanted to do something that wasn't comedic and wasn't action based
Okay.
because I think one of the aspects that I haven't really teased yet is the sort of darker, more emotional elements. So in this piece here, we have Dusk. Real name is Eden Spotted Bear, who is standing behind the graves of the original apex predators.
Ooh. That's
So
an awesome team name.
right. So before Hellhound, the Vessel, and Grimoire became the junior varsity coming up, there were these 6 people here, Eden and the 5 graves you see. They were these military specialists from all over the world, picked from different militaries by the Van Hortens.
Wow.
They were all these incredibly talented fighters who also had hearts of gold, genuine people. And the goal for the Van Hortens was to take these military people who were just genuinely good people and use their willingness to sacrifice themselves for the greater good to turn them into monsters themselves to quote unquote bump back against the things that go bump in the night. So, they each had a monster or a creature of some sort that they were willing to turn themselves into in order to better fight against the creatures that the Van Hortens were fighting. Unfortunately, the same night that Hellhound, Vessel, Dusk, and Grimoire were cursed or changed, whatever you want to call it, this entire team was wiped out by something we will learn about later. There might be some things that you pick up when looking at this piece that might hint at some of what might have happened. I don't want to give away necessarily too much, but there are little things in this picture that you can pick up on. Some more on the head, maybe some less so. But of course, in dealing with a world of lots of creatures who count as the living dead, doesn't necessarily mean we won't ever see these people.
Okay.
So I wanted a really meaningful picture of Dusk with their graves and with her crosses, because despite being a vampire, she was a devout Christian before she got turned. Because I just thought it would be a really fun sort of thing to write about, a Christian who is no longer able to celebrate their faith in the same way.
Wow, that's insane, man. I don't know how to feel about that, honestly.
Right? Yeah. As we were talking about before the stream, it's just so it's hard to imagine like wanting to go to church and just not like physically not being able to. So a lot of Dusk's more emotional side of her story will involve some survivor's guilt, and initially being someone who was not meant to be turned into any sort of monster or creature for the apex predators, and just be the team's medic, because she had a daughter that she was supposed to go back to. The others didn't really have living family, so it didn't matter as much. But she made a sacrifice that night in order to save innocent lives, which took her away from her daughter and took her away from her ability to practice her faith the way she grew up. So
that is crazy. Holy cow, man! Wow, Paul. I think what I love about you, Paul, with like you giving your pitches and your ideas, like you give your characters so much depth, and I mean, you could like you play around with like the how can I say, you play around with the tropes. Like you got the vampires, you got the werewolf, you got the warlock, all of that, and you somehow make the tropes like fresh and new in a way, and give these characters depth. It's like it's not like the vampire that we would know right off the bat. I won't say like, oh, it's Vampirella or something, or the Wolfman. It's like, no, these characters have their own thing, and since you want to make a story like that, like how did the whole horror theme come about?
So I'm a big wuss, I'm a big emotion. I think where I lack in IQ, I make up for in social and emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And part of the curse of that is I love horror movies. Love horror movies. And when I'm watching them, sometimes I get super depressed about watching these characters who I know are just there to die. Wow. Like their whole purpose is to die. And the reason I get depressed about it is because I can't stop thinking about them being like little kids excited for Christmas, or like, maybe when they're supposed to get back from this cabin trip, they're supposed to go take their grandmother out for a really nice trip or lunch or something like that. Or, maybe they take care of their maybe they live somewhere where they take care of a neighbor who can't take care of themselves or something like that, despite being a douchebag or whatever. Maybe they have qualities outside this one-dimensional thing. And no lie whatsoever, sometimes I will genuinely get teary-eyed when I'm thinking about this, even though this person is nothing but a one-dimensional character who is there for murderous entertainment. This is my attempt at giving all those characters a second chance at life. So, we're starting with 4. There's obviously so many archetypes in those types of movies, but we're really just starting with 4. You could consider Dusk the final girl, right? She's got that innocent nature about her, in term with her faith and whatnot.
Right.
You've got the dumb jock with Grimoire, the preppy princess with the vessel, Christy Bell, and you've got Buddy Briggs, aka Hellhound, who is the pothead, but he also goes much darker and deeper than just pot. He pretty much anything and everything that you could be addicted to, he's been addicted to. He's not the funny sort of dopey pothead. He's very aggressive, degenerate addict.
Oh, wow.
So kind of a much darker turn on that.
Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
you just play with the tropes like it's your own thing, but I don't know, you just make it seem so fresh.
Thank you, man. That's the idea. That's the idea. And really, the humor of Bump Back is all just to pull people in so I can tell those emotional stories. Humor's a great way of breaking down the walls and barriers we put up. Mm-hmm. So if I have to use demonically possessed toasters to tell a story about fighting addiction or bettering yourself, then so be it. Be it.
Oh man, speaking of, we got Nicholas Muir in the house. What is up, buddies?
Hey Nick, good to see you, buddy.
What's up, Nick? Thanks for coming by the stream, buddy. Oh my goodness. So explain to me about this whole toaster situation and why'd you even think of it's everything you're throwing at me, Paul. It's just mind-boggling. It's like, what? It's like, I never heard of this. I have watched Brave Little Toaster. It was a quite interesting movie when I was a child.
Yeah.
Pretty grim and dark. So, does it have some kind of relationship to that? Like an Easter egg?
Not quite at all.
Really?
I wanted to introduce a very dark and serious villain in a very comedic way.
A toaster as a villain?
So not wow. Jeremy the toaster. Jeremy the demonically possessed toaster.
Okay, I'm glad that you clarified it.
So it's so early on. It'll be probably years before this character will be introduced, so I don't mind. So Bumpback's universe's Legion has the ability to infect people or objects with demons. He can create new demons inside of people or objects.
Okay.
And so in a short I wrote, which will eventually get drawn up one day, Bump Back Black Friday. When they're out shopping on Black Friday, they come across a convenience store that is being usurped by demonically possessed appliances led by a toaster who is begging for a warrior's death.
I love it. I love it so much, man. I'm so excited for this. It's like, I can't believe this exists, but it exists!
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, Paul. Thank you so much for oh my gosh. This is something that, as for me, I'm a total wuss whenever it comes to watching horror flicks, but if you ever tell me, what's my favorite, like, horror movie monster, it's the werewolves. I'm a sucker for werewolves, dude. It's like, if you just put a wolf in, I'm like, all right, I'm sold.
Okay, I've got some recommendations, man. I can get you set up. If you ever get a chance, watch Late Phases.
Okay.
Late Phases. It's at its base level, it's a blind Vietnam War veteran in a retirement community against werewolves. It's so much
freaking way.
It's so good. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, man!
It's excellent. It's so
It
worth
is
it.
excellent. Holy crap, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, totally recommend it.
I will most definitely will.
Werewolves need some better media representation though. Big time.
Yeah, no,
Big
dude.
time.
It's been a long time since we got some good wolf. I mean, what was like literally the last time you ever seen like a good wolf movie? I think Underworld, right? Underworld was
Probably.
like, yeah, Underworld was the best like vampires versus werewolves type of movie. And
For real.
you know, this is literally before Twilight even existed in this world, but we won't even talk about that.
You mean
in depth.
Twilight's not your favorite vampires versus werewolves movie?
I mean, I had a girlfriend at the time, so I mean, I had no choice in the matter.
You definitely pretended like it was.
Oh my gosh, I did after I roasted like part 1 of like one of the final chapters of the film. I will say this. Part 2 of the final chapter of Twilight was fantastic.
Okay.
It was fantastic. Everything else was garbage. But final chapter part 2 was good. Great.
Nicholas here is saying he's Team Jacob.
Yeah, I'm Team Jacob too. Is like just because he was a werewolf. I had no idea between what is it? You know, what's the whole backstory of this character? I just know that it's Taylor Lautner with 6-pack abs, and because he's a werewolf, you get 6-pack abs.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and you gotta take your shirt off all the time.
Apparently. Yeah.
Ooh, Neil, I'm excited to see your werewolf there. See, is that going to be part of Riser Man?
Oh yeah, I am so far behind. Hold on, dudes. Forgive me, man. We got.
You're doing great, buddy.
Neostar Productions, the brilliant star that shines through the night, the wild card in the deck of justice. Riser Man stands before you. I love reading these, man. Neostar Productions says, so what's this about demonically possessed toasters? Oh man. So we'll go back to that. What's up with the whole demonically toasters?
Yeah. So as I was saying before, the Bumpback Universe's version of Legion, I wanted to introduce an incredibly dark and serious character in a comedic way.
Okay.
And so he is going to have recently passed through a convenience store that the team in their disguises, their super great disguises, I'm sure, will be shopping at. He will have infected a bunch of appliances with brand new demons that will be attacking the customers and everything. And so the team, while in their disguises, are going to have to stealthily take on their leader, Jeremy, who is very excited.
I'm having a hard time even taking the name seriously. The supervillain named Jeremy.
Yes.
That's kind of anticlimactic, don't you think, for a supervillain?
Of course. Well, he'll have a name tag of one of his victims on his...
Oh my gosh.
And as I told Shay and Sai, I'm going to just keep making him harder and harder to kill, even though he is attempting to die. It's great. Like, he will be impossible to kill by the end of the series.
Oh my goodness, man. That is... I gotta ask you, Paul, were you a stand-up comedian before you taken on writing? I just want to know, man.
No. I mean, I was never the class clown sort of person at all.
Really?
I was the
me after pitching that to me.
I was the what was it? I was voted teacher's pet, and I was the guy who was the leader of every sort of organization that would let me in. Every sort of student government position I could grab, I would grab. If they wouldn't let me, I would just wait until the next year when they would. Yeah, I wasn't. I don't think there's never really been a funny period for me. But I get a couple goofy things in here and there.
Huh.
But if you like the toaster, you'll like the Brendan Fraser obsessed archangels who wield machine guns. And yes, they're the Archangel Protocol, Deus Ex and Machina.
Paul, I'm not. You're making this hard for me to like color while you're telling me these things because it's like I can't do this. Or you're telling me these amazing things that is so hilarious. I'm like, how?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh.
we got lots of fun stuff. So that's why I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that issue 1 is well received. My goal is just that with each new issue, I'm able to get enough money back to until the point where the book, like I don't need to make a huge profit. I just want the book to be able to pay for itself. That's my whole goal, is just for it to pay for itself so that I can tell the story to its completion. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. And do you already have like an estimate, roughly, or like exactly like the estimate you want for your crowdfunding for this book?
So that's part of the struggle here. So
Okay.
I'll admit I don't know. So if and when I crowdfund, I think this first time it'll just be fulfillment. I'm considering releasing it digitally.
Okay.
And then a month or so later, maybe doing a physical fulfillment campaign. But I don't know. I'm still thinking it out. I've got time, thankfully, but I just, yeah, it would have to just be fulfillment because I want my book to be accessible. I love the merch and the exclusives and whatnot, and that's so fun and interesting. But like, I don't want someone who didn't have a chance to really learn about Bump Back a year or two from now to be bummed out because they missed something they would have really liked when it first came out. I would rather die with more individual readers than dollars in my bank in terms of numbers than dollars in my bank account.
Oh man, that's what I call a true writer right there. Starstruck. Wow, man.
So
Do you know? Do you have an idea of what fulfillment team you'll have, or because I know a company called Skinny Comics. He does fulfillment. He did fulfillment for Vestry. He did fulfillment for his own book, which is a horror book. It's called Otis Stein, which is a hillbilly Frankenstein.
Fun. I think I might have seen some art for that.
Yeah, no, the art it's really great. It's a black and white comic, and yeah, no, Skinny, like if you just see Skinny on his internet, like on a surface level, but I got to talk to him like personally and stuff, and he's a really awesome and genuine human being, and I think just him spouting out things on the internet, I think it's just his persona, or maybe just one half of himself. So, but he's an awesome dude. He also helped out. Was it Claylex with a Clayman crowdfunding fulfillment? So he's done a lot of crowdfunders. So I do recommend him.
Okay.
So
I take it.
I'll make sure that I'll send you the link to his Twitter so you can DM him and just ask for a quote from him.
Heck yeah, I'm down.
Excellent, dude. So how long have you had this idea from Bump Back, man? Because I mean, for someone to flesh out and you just telling me everything, even the upcoming stories or mini stories that you have, it's like how long has Bump Back been into your mind and you get to finally like release it, like to bring it into existence now? I mean, I'm excited that it even exists because holy cow, dude. What?
So, years. Ow, I just bit my tongue. Years. It's been years.
Okay, okay. I
Um,
was about to say a year. Like, wow.
no, so it's the third third comic series that's come to my mind.
Okay.
Um,
Oh
the
wow.
other,
Okay.
yeah, the others would be a lot harder to get started. So
Hmm.
I figured um, start with the easiest one to get started. Um, it originally, though, was a film idea
Oh. Okay.
where there would be and it's, you know what? It's okay. Again, it's so early into this that I can say things and people forget. But
Not until they look back at this video.
true, true. One of the storylines that will eventually be a thing in, excuse me, the comic of Bumpback
Right.
is the original film idea of all of these representatives of the different sorts of monsters. In Bumpback here, we call them citizens of the quote unquote dark world, the ones who have to live in the shadows because if they came out of the shadows, stuff would hit the fan. All
Right.
come together in in a big city to have a conference over what they should do, for
Okay.
the coming year or decade or whatever, um, in order to potentially get to the point where they can live alongside normal people.
Okay.
Um, but of course, in almost like the Warriors sort of way, for those who have seen that movie,
Hmm.
things just go horribly wrong, and the city ends up turning into absolute chaos with monsters just going out and attacking people left and right. And
Wow.
then the story would follow these friends who fit the archetypes of normal horror movie characters, and it would follow them trying to survive the night. But at some point in the night, they get their hands on some stuff that would allow just one of them to be able to become a werewolf, and it's during a full
Mm.
moon, so they would have a better chance of survival if one of them has the ability to quote unquote bump back against the monsters who are terrorizing everyone. And so, of course, they're going to give it to like the dumb jock who might be an idiot, but they're the most physically capable. Unfortunately, it's the pothead who ends up uh, consuming it when he's getting the munchies, and he just starts eating and drinking everything in sight. So it's up to this pothead who's considered useless to protect his friends as they
Wow.
get picked off one by one. So
Wow.
it eventually evolved from that because I was thinking, okay, it's probably wouldn't work for a movie, never going to get made. Um,
Hmm.
but I do want to get my stories out there. Oh, hey, comics seem like a not easier way.
Hmm.
I don't know, because comics aren't easy, but it's a
Right.
more straightforward way to get them made, right? Because you can just go
Yes.
online, talk to an artist, and immediately start getting stuff made.
Hmm. Yeah.
The a film, you just have so much
Oh
extra
my gosh.
silly stuff that you have to do to get something
Yeah.
made. So Bump Back eventually just became a comic instead.
That's really interesting. There's just so many questions I want to ask you, Paul, of that. But first, before I jump onto it, what made you fall in love with writing, man?
Mm. I've always loved storytelling, uh, forever. Forever. I've been obsessed with, and my number one goal is still, and I hope this never comes across poorly to the comic writers and comic creators out there. My number one goal is still screenwriting and directing.
Hmm.
Like that's still
Right.
my number one goal that I've been working on for a long time.
Okay.
Comics I still want to do alongside that though.
Hmm.
I've really gotten a love for it, but I've always loved storytelling, and I just never thought I was good enough. I don't I don't write good prose. I can write a good story, and I can write. I like to think decent dialogue. Um, so but I never thought I was good enough.
Hmm.
And I even had a teacher tell me that the only thing I was ever going to be good enough in life the only way I was going to get anywhere in life was by being nice to people because I wasn't good enough for anything else.
Wow.
So that
Jeez.
definitely added to the not believing in myself. Eventually,
Mm.
though, I did decide that I would major in film in
Hmm.
college, but I would try
Right.
and go for a producer's role just because I didn't think I would be able to do the creative side.
Okay.
I did have to take a screenwriting uh, class in college,
Okay.
and it turns out I had a knack for it. That I had the ability, which was awesome to find out. It
Yeah.
felt super good, and so I actually was the first one in like 20 years that my university sent out to Los Angeles to be able to pitch one of my TV pilots to studios who've worked with people like Bruce Willis, Bradley Cooper, Zac Efron, and, and stuff like
Wow.
that. Yeah, it's super cool. Super cool.
Awesome.
And so, I mean, obviously, that just completely lit a fire in my soul. And, I've prayed on it so much. And I believe that God wants me to tell stories. I don't need to be the most famous writer. I don't need to be a writer who makes a lot of money, but um, to tell meaningful stories that aren't, and not to bash them, but Sherwood Films, who
Hmm.
do what was it, Facing the Giants and those movies.
Right.
So not nail on the head sort of stuff, which has its place, but write stories where he's in the blueprint and people of all faiths can enjoy, but in the end, God is in the blueprint of it.
Hmm. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
Bump Back, I probably wouldn't introduce to my preacher, but at the same
Oh man.
time, as you can probably tell from like my my care for these characters, um, the love of Christ is in there, second chances and growth and things of that sort. So
Really awesome, dude.
thank
Really,
you.
really interesting, man. Yeah, no, I'm just so glad that you had that moment of realizing, like, wow, like, you know, because again, like a lot of things, like even early on in our childhood, like we are just so sensitive
Mm,
to, like, because we as children, like we always want to be accepted, or we're learning new things every day, and just the mere fact that like early on in your age, like you get rejected or just disappointment comes, it really does affect you within your self confidence and what you
oh
want to do further on.
yeah,
I mean, I'm just so surprised, like in my early 20s, when I'll be at a job, like I'm on college and I know what I want to major in. Some of these kids, like at that time, don't even know what they want to do in their life. It just seems like they're drifting, and you know, and it's something that it's just everyone has their own pace. Everybody has their own journey, and I'm not here just to knock it over because I'm still trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. I mean, I tried doing game development, and I did everything I can in my power to at least learn how to program. But the only thing I know after maybe 5 years doing it, the only thing I have more control over within development is the art side than I do with the technical side, which is the
yeah.
bread and butter, which is coding. So, um, what was it going to go with this? But speaking of that, it just really like at least within that confirmation, especially going over to LA with those big names, just tells you like you have that calling, Paul. Like you have a calling to do storytelling. You have a calling to make these stories into a reality where everyone, including myself, gets to see this and know like this actually exists. This is something fresh. This is something new. Yeah, like you're playing with the tropes, but these tropes have a new flavor in them now where, you know, I honestly would never even know unless, someone tells me or if I get to meet you in person And if you telling me that in a convention, I will be stoked. Oh my
Thank you, buddy.
goodness. Yeah,
Thank you.
buddy. But yeah, man. I mean, so like within like what made you fall in love with screenwriting? What's the difference when you did screenwriting and now transferring over to comics? Because comics is very I mean, granted, there is a thing called graphic novels, which is like maybe 50 pages plus, but
Hmm.
comics itself, like with a floppy, which you said is going to be 22 pages, correct, or
Yeah,
24?
22.
Okay, so like it's a limited medium, like it's very like straightforward, or you want to put in all the important stuff in, but you're limited to page number within dialogue and making sure that the art fits in the dialogue that you're trying to put into it.
Yeah.
So, just tell me the challenges between screenwriting and just comics.
Oh, oh, for sure. The most difficult thing is probably the easiest thing for every other comic writer, but I loathe it with every ounce of my being. I would rather write what a sound is than give any sound effects.
Really?
I would rather drag my eyeballs across sandpaper than write another sound effect. Thankfully, Brandon put them in himself for page
Okay.
12, and a few times throughout the book so far. It just takes me out of it. It takes me out of my zone. I spend
Mhm.
way too much time thinking, okay, what would be the best sound effect for this? What is the proper sound effect for someone's face being sucked off? Um, and things like that. But honestly, comics are nice because an arc is, you can look at it as a film or as a season of a show, which is really nice. The main difficulty I have with comics that I don't with screenwriting is knowing, how to say this, knowing what is a good amount of dialogue,
Okay.
because I enjoy writing what I consider the right amount of dialogue,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
which is never super talkative, is never telling instead of showing it, but it is organic to the story, where comics, you could still call it organic to the story, but it's never going to feel as organic as a living, breathing person saying
Mm.
the same thing.
Right.
So when I'm writing Sunchild, especially, I'll be completely honest. Writing dialogue for Sunchild is 1,000 times more difficult than writing for Bump Back, um, because I'm trying. I'm trying to show so much instead of tell, because I it's very important to me that I treat my readers like they are intelligent people. I don't
Right.
want to throw them too far into the deep end to where they're just confused the entire time, but
Hmm.
I want to treat them as intelligent readers. And I feel like it's so much easier to do that properly with screenwriting than it is comics, because you are limited. You are limited in what you're showing. You can't show an entire uh, minute clip. Your minute long clip
Hmm.
is a single panel. So you you have to show the same amount of story in one panel than you would in a minute, or possibly in 5 minutes.
Right.
So transitioning that is definitely a difficult aspect. I just kind of rambled off on things there, so I'm sorry about that. But but it's interesting. It's I think comics are fun. I can write 5 comic scripts in the same amount of time that it takes me to write half of a screenplay in the same amount of pages. So that's nice. I
Hmm.
enjoy that aspect a lot. Let's see here. Neostar Production says, I'm pretty new to writing comic scripts. It's kind of thrown me for a loop because I was hoping my drawing ability would be good enough so I can do the art for myself. Mm,
Mm.
I feel ya. Yeah. That's got to be a hard balance. I don't know how the people who write and draw do it.
I do.
I
I do. It is a pain.
yeah.
I'll end up arguing with myself, saying, "Why did I wrote this? I should fire myself and actually hire a writer."
Ichthus the writer and Ichthus the artist are looking to
Man.
throw hands at each other.
Yeah, man. I might even I don't know. I might make a beef like live stream of how of an awful writer I am to employ
Oh
myself,
no.
and just being late within my payments with my PayPal.
Oh, oh man. How are the Gators coming along?
They're coming good, man. I talked with my buddy Peter because I was struggling because I don't know the whole process with like comics and everything. And
Yeah.
Peter, who is AKA Pad, I believe it was one of the streams. It was not even a stream actually. I talked to him privately. I believe it was one of the streams I was on with him, and he's like, yeah, if you need help, I'm down to help. And he did have experience doing comics and stuff. Like he was in a lot of indie publishers, doing a lot of comics. I mean, one of the comics names was called ISIS. Who would know?
Oh gosh.
Literally in it was in the early 2000s, right? So
Yeah.
who would think? Just hearing that name, now it's it has, a negative context into it.
Yeah.
So to him, it was just mind blowing. He even saw some of his comics in maybe the 50-cent bin in one of the comic stores he would go to.
Ouch.
So but to him it's mind blowing. But yeah, he told me if you need any help, he's so he loves the Gators. He is so, he's into it. It's just a fun thing, and it's something that you shouldn't take seriously, but it stands on its own feet in a way. So I talked to him, and we had a day where, I showed him the script. I told him what exactly I need help on, which was panels and how to get pages done in thumbnails. And he's like, okay, read me the script, right? I thought it was gonna be maybe 2 or 3 pages, right?
Yeah.
He did the whole thing. All the literally all the pages, all the script dialogue. He did all of it. He kept telling me next page, and then he's telling me breakdowns of his thought process of within that, and he told me yeah, man, literally he turned an 8-page story into 20 pages, and I am just blown away.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dang.
within thumbnails, just literally within real time when I'm just telling him and reading the panels and the descriptions and the dialogue.
He's just knocking it out.
Yeah, no, he just knocks it out of the park, and yeah, he's gonna whenever he has a chance, he might work a few things because 20 pages is crap. It's literally a complete book.
Yeah.
And me and him, we discussed it, and it's gonna be an ash can. So I'm gonna add some art into it, so that way it's gonna be for free. It's gonna be digital, but I do have plans to get it printed, and it's gonna be in color. So it's gonna be exclusive to those that purchase the crowdfunder, and that's in color.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. So I'm pretty excited. I know Peter's super busy doing his own thing too with Trial by Fire. Me and him, we were going back and forth. I finished doing a pinup for him, a crossover pinup actually, and as well as a variant cover for Uzi Suzy, which is a mini comic of his. I believe it's up to 4 issues. I even have him on my show, so for you dudes out there, he does everything traditional too, which it just blows my mind. The mere fact that he even letters his own books,
Jeez.
is just, how many artists they do letter their own panels.
Right?
None. It's digital now.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, man. Peter is literally like all around talent. He has a great work ethic, and I'm pretty excited for the projects that he has going. Like we both have. He sent me some share folders of projects that he's that's in the works.
Yeah.
So I'm just super excited that I can one day we'll finally say it. But for now, you know that's the update on my end and Peter's as well.
Dope. I'm so excited, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
so excited.
But that's enough about me, right? This tonight is for you, man. So, so yeah, buddy. So I want to know, man. Like, are these characters that you thought of, or were based on like maybe real life people that you grew up, or maybe, when you thought of these characters, like, since it was originally, a screen, for a film and stuff. Like, did you ever have like a fan cast, like, oh, like, the wolf is gonna be, I don't know, Seth Rogen, or I don't know, I'm just throwing names, okay? Like,
Totally.
like Dusk here, it's gonna be Angelina Jolie. Let me see what else. The Warlock. We'll just have. Who else can we fan cast that? Well, actually, I'll say awful fan cast. Goodness gracious, who can be a freaking Warlock?
He's an offensive lineman. So
he's offensive lineman, Dwayne Johnson, but we're gonna shrink him down.
There you go.
No, actually, Kevin Hart. We'll put Kevin Hart in it. Just because of his height.
There you go. There you go. I like it. So no, not how do I want to say this?
Yeah.
None of the characters you see in this first book have any fan casts. They are named after people, sort of, that I know in my life. Like Eden Spotted Bear is a friend of mine who I worked with at a coffee shop.
Okay.
Christy Bell is a mix of two different people that I know. I had a tennis partner in high school whose last name was Briggs.
Okay.
Roland is, if I ever have a son in my life, Roland is what I would like to name them.
That's
And
a cool
Smith
name.
is my mom's maiden name.
Oh wow.
So things like that. The Van Horten sisters, Annette and Natalie, are named after two of my favorite cousins, who are sisters. Just amazing, actually. And there are more Van Hortens. We'll get to them, but they're all just sort of named after my aunts.
Oh wow.
But there were so on the only one who has like a fan cast is the one who's not showing up in the book, and Natalie Van Horten will not show up in this book. Her fan cast, there's a comedian named Caitlin Riley.
Okay.
On Instagram, you might have seen a video of hers. You might not have. She does a lot of these videos making fun of like really fake middle-aged women who pretend to be nice but are really awful, mean, nasty people. She does a lot of videos making fun of people like that.
Okay.
She is my dream cast.
Oh wow.
For it. It's a really odd dream cast because no one, I don't want to say no one knows her. People know her, but she's not like a super big name. If I say Caitlin Riley, there's not a whole lot of people who are going to know who I'm talking about.
Right.
So, I think she's got the look that Natalie needs to have, but I also, Natalie's another serious character that I want to introduce in a really comedic way, of her like in pajamas and looking almost hungover, walking through a grocery store, getting a lot of things that you don't realize are for monster hunting, but are and things like that. So like I feel like she could get both sides of the character in terms of at least appearance. So
wow.
if this gets made into a show or anything or a movie or anything in the future, there is a pop artist named Mars Argo
Okay.
who, if she's 40 at the time that it would be made, would probably be okay for Vessel. But that's really about it. It's really about it.
Wow. It's pretty awesome, man. I
Yeah.
mean, holy cow. Um,
And
oh
obviously
man.
Brendan Fraser is Brendan Fraser. If the Archangel Protocol ever gets
Oh
made
my
into,
gosh, dude.
maybe John Cusack as the devil.
Right? Oh my goodness. Holy cow. I hope this will become a film because I mean, dude, it's just perfect amount of wackiness and it's like what? It's there's just a lot of question marks that just pops over your head, but it's just I don't know. I just love how wacky it is and but it's like what you said. You use comedy as a way where it just brings down like this wall that you just protect yourself, but you just slowly and slowly like start um like you start opening up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So and
My,
it's I'm sorry, go ahead,
oh
buddy.
no, you go ahead. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I oh.
Gosh dang it, Paul, this is my show. You can't take control of these situations without my consent. I'm kidding. So go on ahead.
Okay.
I'll stay quiet. I'll do
I,
this the whole time.
I just want to make it is important to me that like I would love to make people laugh. I would love to throw in some genuine scares here and there, but
Okay.
if I can move somebody at least once, every reader at least once, it doesn't have to be the same time every time for every person.
Right.
But I would like to hit that chord, especially if it's completely unexpected from when you're reading some of the more ridiculous stories to something that hits a bit maybe closer to home. So
okay.
so
Yeah.
now I'll do the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, man. It's dude, I'm just blown away. I'm just so excited for this book, man. What's the date for Bump Back, man? What is the date that we'll finally get this in our hands, and I will let everyone know, even my neighbor's dogs, that will start howling once I bring the good news of Bump Back.
That's a good question, man. I wish I had a clear answer. My hope is that digitally and physically, you can have it by October. That's my goal is to have it done this summer, and if I can get it to people this summer, then I want to do that.
Yeah,
I want to do that, but as I said on the Dirty Free for All, I want to have a physical copy in my hand that I know looks good. It's got everything perfect before I would give it to anyone else. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, how did you miss there being a 3-page zebra print, or something like that. So I would love to have it in everyone's hands by August, but I think more realistically would be October, which works out because monsters and Halloween.
Most definitely. Right?
Yeah.
And you can ask for more, especially for that month.
Yeah. Exactly.
What is it? Yeah, man. So, what you thought? Why the name Bump Back for this series? Like, why do you think having? It's like because names are hard. I'll say that names are very hard.
Super
With your
hard.
famous quote, I will never ever forget this. I'm gonna keep saying it every time whenever I talk with a writer or anyone in this conversation. Words are hard.
Yep.
So, but you make it easy, Paul. So why the name Bump Back?
Because someone has to be there to bump back against the things that go bump in the night. When things in the night, when those in the shadows in the night looking to do sinister things go bump in the night, we're here to bump back. I'm pretty sure, I can't confirm this. I'm pretty sure it came to my mind originally while watching the first Hellboy movie. I'm pretty sure Hellboy's dad mentioned something about bumping back against things that go bump in the night. And so just right then and there, it came to me. So
that is so awesome, man.
there's for Hellboy fans, there will be some things in there that they'll enjoy as well.
Yeah, man. So, oh my goodness, have
Thanks,
you done any?
Neostar.
Let me see. Neostar, looking forward to the bump back. I'm thrilled to even being part of this project, man. Just thank you so much, Paul, for this opportunity, man.
Thank you, bud. We haven't talked about it much because I don't want to jinx myself, but there are some things I'm very excited at the possibility of paying you for in the future. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. So you hear it here, guys. It's documented now that he will pay me. I'm kidding, guys. He's an excellent dude. He's total excellence of approval. But yeah, dude, and that's the thing too. What I love is like comics is another way for you to like make things happen. Is like you don't. It's like this. It's what we talked about earlier. It's about films. It's like there's just all the extra silly stuff. Like you got to find an actor that may hit the nail, or you just feel like, oh well, this feels miscasted.
Yeah.
Didn't really, and all of the props and practical effects. It's like you got this beautiful, authentic car, but it's not really it. It's just a 3D, animation, and now you got this toy car, which is going to be the part with the practical effects to explode it.
Yeah.
Which is just, they just feel like now the explosion wasn't good enough, so they'll buy another toy car to blow it up because how it reacted. All these little silly things. But with comics, as long as you have a good artist who has a good portfolio behind them, a letterer, and a freaking writer who has a good, distinct vision of the project. I mean, what? We have like, you got like 3 or 2 people that can do it. Or just one person that's going to do it all, which I will not recommend because it's going to be a very long, tedious process if you do it by yourself. I'm telling you out of experience, and I bet Tyler as well, and every other comic creator that just does it by themselves. But with a team, it's going to make it happen.
Yep. For sure. Definitely lucky to be working with Brandon on this. Big time.
Yeah, no, dudes. I mean, these colors that I'm using is part of Brandon's color set for Bump Back. So, you guys are going to have an expectations of how the colors are going to look within the book.
Yeah, it's an exciting process, and I think I'm sure I've mentioned this before and whatnot. It's important to me, again, to have people who enjoy reading the book, but I also just like, even if they're not directly writing like the main story or drawing for the main story, I just like having people involved.
Right.
In the Bump Back family, I like having people who have a piece of work done that relates to the book. So Elliot, you've been in the Bump Back family since your first YouTube video, but now Elliot is a part of that extended family, and I like having that. I like having people who can say they are connected to my book if they want to say that. I just like having the idea of a community book where someone can say, yeah, I contributed to that if they choose to. I love having that.
Yeah, no, dude. I'm happy to be just contribute in any way possible, whether it just be art, whether it just freaking get the book physically. I don't care. I just want this thing to exist, and just I don't know, just
Okay.
hang it somewhere. I don't know. My wall is empty and depressed. It needs Bump Back. It needs Demon Hunter. It needs the Flock. It needs
Heck yeah.
Niobe. It needs Chefs, which I'm so disappointed to this day because no one's gonna get their battle apron. Oh my goodness. But we'll get our battle apron later on down the
One of these days.
One of these days, man. My chest was so sad when, I don't have my battle apron. It's all good. It's all good. I have extra cash saved up once the battle apron comes on.
And I don't want, if I ever have be turned into a character tier for a campaign, make sure you never spend money on that because I plan on putting you in anyway.
No way.
Yeah.
No.
Either this or Underlord, or I'll let you pick between the two. But I have an idea for a Gator related character.
Oh my
So here's the pitch. We're pitching this live.
Okay, we're gonna pitch it live, dudes. So you're a witness. This is documented. Oh no, I colored it wrong with the gravestone.
In Florida,
okay,
there is, because of the absurdity of Bump Back, there's an academy, a behavior academy for zombie children.
Okay.
Led by an eccentric principal who rides around on these 4 gators. He's got them on like a chariot.
Oh, man.
No one knows his name, but he wears a little ichthus badge on his chest.
Okay.
He's the headmaster of the school, and he protects the school from anyone who comes in to attack the children with the gators. Him and the gators, they are constantly just patrolling the outside. He's the principal. He's not security, but he just cares about those kids so much. So I'm just imagining a super friendly, wonderful principal who refers to the kids as total excellence.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Then just uses these 4 gators to devour anyone who would dare try and harm these kids.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's just an idea. It's just an idea. Obviously it doesn't have to be the thing, but
right.
But
holy guacamoles, that is wild. A class of zombie children,
or some sort of ghoul type thing, because there's Madame Bonnui's school, Madame Bonnui and the Alucard Academy, which are both school for vampire children. So there's got to be something for one of the other monsters.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. Yeah, no. Just this is from a Florida kid, okay? Just hearing the mere fact that gators are involved, I am just, my heart is melting right now. It's like, it's, oh my goodness. I remember when I said so many Florida jokes in one of Peter's stream because he drew his thing was in his live streams he would do like he'll literally draw on a pizza, on one of those pizza pan things, right? Like one of those microwavable pizza pans, and you have like the cardboard on the bottom.
Yeah. So
he'll draw on that. So he did Leatherhead, and I was like, oh my god, dude, you made my night. It's like you have no idea the happiness that you brought up to this Florida kid right now. I've made so much Florida jokes on that stream. I rated 5 gator emojis out of 5 gator emojis. Oh my god. I am just, oh man. Oh no, Nicholas Mueller has discovered my Twitch account. So he took over my Twitch.
Nice. Nice. I dig it.
Yeah, dudes. Yeah, man. Freaking 4 gators and a prince.
And we can, because just because you're such a kind person, I see someone, and we can add little things to the gators so that they hint at our JRPG superstars that'll be coming out. Just a thought. Okay, all
right.
Because you're so kind, I can only see a character who would be doing something good and selfless.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. It could be something else. But
you're too kind, man. I don't know. I will make you just take over and be cast as that's too much of a responsibility to live up to. Oh man, dude. Oh my goodness, Nicholas.
Nick's back.
But I'm over here. Who was that?
Who knows who that stranger was?
I don't know. I will concur. This is a mighty awesome dude. Thank you so much, Nick. You are mighty awesome. Everyone, Nick got 5 kids to feed. Okay, that ain't a tagline. It is in real life.
5 kids to feed.
Big shout out to Nick's wife for handling 5 kids. Because, I wasn't able to talk to Nick once she was out of town and taking care of the kids by himself.
Oof.
Oh, my goodness. 5 kids, man.
5 kids. I can't wait for Chapter 3 of Demon Hunter Raven.
Me too,
man. I don't know about you.
Dude, I'm excited for the deluxe version, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Dude.
I'm going to cry. As soon as I get that sunshot. I'm excited for all of Chapter 3.
Yeah.
But I would be lying if I didn't say that seeing that Sunchild short is definitely going to move me quite a lot.
Right, man.
And other things that Nick and I are working on, which are very exciting. If Nick and I were working on something else, I wouldn't know if I would. It would be a mystery to even me if I was working on something with Nick. But yeah.
Exclusive? Only here in this show?
No, I wish I could talk about it more, but as soon as Nick talks about it, I'm definitely going to talk about it too much.
Right.
We got some big things in the works. Heck yeah.
Ooh, heck yeah, man.
And as Sunchild develops, there's still that one character that I mentioned months ago now.
Yeah.
That once they're not even designed. I don't know if I've even sent Nick how they're supposed to look.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as they're out, I just need Ichthys colors on them. I need it. The moment we have that beautiful piece of promotional work, I'm giving you all the money in my bank account.
Oh my goodness. What is it? Neostar Productions says, I second that, Nicholas. Oh, you're too kind, Neo.
Heck
you
yeah.
guys are awesome. You all are total excellence. So, let me see. Got some big plans in the works. Most definitely.
Super fun.
I swear, man, I'm going to throw money at Neo, man, because all these things that he just brings up, man, it's like he's going to get royalty checks from me. He doesn't need to write ever again. So this is what he wrote, man. DC has gorillas, Marvel has spiders and wolves, and Image has zombies. We need gators.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, dude.
Heck yeah. The indie world just needs a bunch of gators everywhere, all representing how much we adore Ichthys. Just everywhere. We're sneaking them in.
Yeah, no, that's the thing too, is like, what is it? Peter told me that gators are very rare within like character design wise, because there's not a lot. Like when I was starting to work on like character designs for the gators, I was literally on a wall. I was like, I have nothing. I mean, yeah, I went on DeviantArt and see all these gators and stuff, how they interpret it. But
yeah.
I mean, I have nothing media wise. If you tell me like gators like in a cartoon sense, I can only think of like Leatherhead from TMNT and Killer Croc from DC. Literally, those are the only two. the only thing that saved me was literally Disney, and Disney's character. I forgot what was the character's name.
I'm
But it
here.
was
I'm listening.
yeah. So it's all good, buddy. It was literally like a movie called The Princess and the Frog, and so of course it's in Mardi Gras where this film is where this movie is being taken place.
Yeah.
literally the last 2D animation film of Disney to this day, and it's in Mardi Gras, but it's in the swamps. Classic, literally Princess and the Frog. So, but there are scenes where like you see gators and stuff, and so there's this one silly gator where I got to see like the character designs and some sketches and stuff, and I'm like, holy crap! And I saw some how to draws videos from one certain creator that showed like how he broke it down with the gator head. So I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord Jesus, because oh my gosh, I was struggling so much with just drawing the head and just identifying it as a gator. You can easily mistake it maybe for a lizard or a freaking salamander, but a gator it has a certain thing. So I looked into Disney and how they interpreted gators. So it made it so much easier for me drawing it. And, I showed it to you, Nick. I showed it off to Nick and a few other creators, and they're super excited. And, this splash page that I just showed you guys, I might change it later because, again, everything is being changed. But I just want this ash can to be so total excellence. So that way you have an idea of what to expect from the story. And besides, it's literally a pitch idea, right? So it's literally like a one-shot in a way.
It's going to be amazing. And now I know this is technically Crocodile, but if you ever get a chance, James Stocco is amazing. But he wrote this one shot called Sobek. It's so simple. It's a super simple one shot, but it's fantastic. Definitely recommend. Definitely recommend.
Most
James Stocco, if you ever want to make my world a better place, just one piece of bump back art, and you'll be my favorite person on the planet.
Yeah, man. Most definitely, man. Dude, you gotta link me up to that book because that looks beautiful. The cover itself is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, I was blown away by the entire thing because like. Now, obviously, the art itself is just gorgeous, but the story is so simple. I mean, it's so simply done, but is beyond entertaining. Genius. James Stocco is fantastic.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. See, Nicholas Mueller is saying drawing gators is hard for real. Way too easy to make them look like a normal lizard. Exactly, man. That's exactly it. I mean, again, man, that was a challenge. I mean, there's a lot of I got to make sure, like, not only that the gators look like gators, but I got to make them physically different and not only make them physically different, but make them look exciting, larger than life. Because they're not only gators, but they're professional wrestling gators. And professional wrestling itself is just not only physique, but performance. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things going on behind the scenes of pro wrestling gators. But I'm telling you got dudes out of existence. I might not have a date, but we are in the works, dudes, okay? We're in the works. We're getting closer each day. Already got the hard part out of the way, which like literally was a wall, which is just trying to make them look like gators, and I finally broke through it.
Heck yeah.
Let me see. Neostar Productions says, I heard Louis the Alligator was based on Louis Armstrong, the trumpet player. Oh, okay, so that was the name of the gator from that movie. Louis the Alligator. That is very interesting. And we got Jetfire in the house. Hello there.
What's up, Jetfire?
He loves to say, so the story behind the name Hello There is because, Obi-Wan Kenobi's famous words when he jumped down in front of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot. General Grievous. When he jumped down to General Grievous behind him saying, like, hello there, General Kenobi. He needs to have a sidekick to say that to him. General Jetfire. And we got Jason Duran in the house. Hey, Captain Gaither. Your Star Wars name. Oh, okay, cool. I got a Star Wars name now. Jason Duran is now the Mandalorian. So I am deemed Captain Gaither. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. Let me see. Neostar Productions. Facts, Nicholas. I've been drawing alligators off and on for years. Drawing them with humanoid bodies it wasn't easy. Yes, no, I love Neostar Productions fan art, man. Like, I get so much joy, and it just gets me pumped. I'm like, holy guacamoles, man. It's like, it could, if I ever gonna make, like, a fun, like, side story or something, like, I'll just have Neil just draw it out, and I'll just mimic his art style. Because he has such a fun art style. Oh my goodness. We're talking more than coloring. So oh,
Happens.
it happens a lot, but that's all good, dudes. We're still coloring, we're still chatting, we're still talking bump back. Talked a little bit of the Gators, but it's all good. I want to talk more
about the Gators. I love hearing about them.
So, let me see. So we already talked about bump back. We talked about your battle hippie, which I love the freaking like
Sunchild. Heck yeah.
Sunchild. I mean, I'm part of your email list. So now my next question is like, why an email list? Why not? I don't know, maybe a Patreon or something. Because I mean, you got a good number following on Twitter, which you have like 1,000, correct?
No, I have less than 500.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh, I swear you had 1,000 followers. I don't know. I'm just.
I mean, that would be lovely. That would be lovely.
Right.
And hey there, LP. I just saw you pop in.
Oh, LP's here?
Yeah.
Holy guacamoles! You got Rebel Comics in the house. I said, hail to the mother effing Ichthy 5? Oh man, Larry, you are something. Oh my goodness, the human sunbeam.
So, Patreon would obviously be awesome, and I'd really love to do that. Mm-hmm. And maybe down the road when I can afford more consistent, or if I did it, it would be $1.
Right.
Because so my goal, or I say $1. My goal is to again get Bump Back to pay for itself, and get a good thing going with Sunchild with Nick, because I want Underlord, another series I mentioned that I've been working on. I want it to be completely free, digitally completely free, and you can buy physical copies. So I want my work to be as accessible as possible. I want to make money off of it. I want to be able to never have to teach another day in my life as soon as possible. But I want, if someone wants to read Bump Back or one of the other books, I want them to be able to do it. And I've even considered, and maybe not anywhere near you, but they love showing these sort of stories at like pizza shops where you could spend like an extra couple dollars and they'll put a Post-it note on a wall or something like that for like someone who may not be able to afford a slice of pizza.
Dude, I actually saw that in a Facebook video a long time ago.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
So I almost, and there would have to be a way for me to show proper accountability with it.
Right.
because it could, in the wrong hands, it could be someone could take advantage of that very easily. But almost like a pay it forward tier, to where if you add an extra $1 to your pledge on Indiegogo or Kickstarter, that's one digital copy that I'll just give to someone who maybe couldn't afford the Kickstarter or Indiegogo or something like that. That's an idea I had for accessibility, because I look at the kids I teach, right, and they would love to get into comics, and they would probably love a lot of the projects in the community, but in the neighborhood I work in, they can't get their hands on that sort of stuff, and they would love some of these exclusives and whatnot. And I don't mean anything bad to the people who do exclusives. I think they're awesome, and they should keep doing them. There's just people like me who just want to do something different. It's okay if we do different things. I just want to make mine available to people who read them, as available as possible, while still making a little bit here and there.
Yeah, no, most definitely, buddy.
So maybe something with the Patreon, but for now, I think a mailing list is good.
Yeah, so how did you discover the mailing list? Like, what is it about?
ConvertKit I found because Shay.
Really?
Shay said, "Hey, if you went on the Dirty Free For All, just try and have a mailing list by the 29th." So I found a place that I could make a mailing list, and I just went for it.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah. So that is the whole reason I have it. So I've been thinking of some things like, getting drawn in as a background character or things like that. That'll be fairly simple to do, to add in fairly easily. I should say, that could help grow my mailing list. So at 75 subscribers to my mailing list, one random and willing subscriber will have the opportunity to be drawn into one of my 3 books as a background character.
That is awesome.
3 or 4 books, I guess. But yeah.
That's super exciting, man.
Yeah. And as more subscribers join, the rewards might pick up in value, we'll say.
Yeah, no, dude, this is exciting stuff. I mean, right now you're doing everything right. I mean, you're networking with these awesome people like Shay. Shay is so fantastic. Like, that huge promo that she did with you and all these other creators, I don't know how does she do it, man. And then just, like, cosplay with
for
every
real.
stream. I mean, dude. I don't know how she does it, man. And, kudos to her for serving as well. So.
Yeah, for real. Her and Sai, Alex, doing that is such a kind thing. It's so kind of them to do that. I greatly appreciate it, and to know that I'm welcome on there when Bump Back launches is so meaningful. I mean, my hope is I have one particular stream. I would never ask them openly, because I don't want to put them in a rough corner. There is one stream in particular that I would like to launch on, and it's just because without that person, my comic would never exist.
Right.
So I'm hopeful I might get a chance to launch with them, but I definitely want to make sure I get on Red Valkyrie.
Most definitely, dude. And when you mean launch, like, do you mean like a launch party once Bump Back comes out? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
Once it comes out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's the hope. And if you know, and if it just ends up being on my channel, I'm totally good with that too. Just get like you, Nick, and Tyler on. I think
Hmm.
that'd be a fun time. Brandon, if I could get him. I know
Yeah,
he's
right.
busy. Because he's a full-time artist, and I think part or full-time Brazilian jiu-jitsu instructor.
Wow.
So
How the heck did you come across with Brandon?
freaking Reddit. Reddit slash
Really?
Reddit slash r slash hungry artists.
What?
I wanted to get before I even knew I would actually make the comic.
Right.
I just wanted some character art done. I just wanted to see my characters outside of my mind.
Right.
And so I was looking for ways to find artists, and I came across the Reddit page r slash hungry artists, and I made a post. And he was one of the ones who responded, and he was just above and beyond everyone else who had applied. And I was so pumped that I came across his work, because he
Hmm.
has his own character called the Dagger that he's working on a comic for. You can see little bits and pieces of when you check out his Instagram, and
Okay.
I saw work he did for the Dagger, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the style. This is bump back. This is what I see in my head.
Right. Oh wow. That is. I would never ever. It's like one thing is Craigslist, but I think Reddit just beats it out of the water. Um.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I have found so I've worked with 5 artists
Okay.
currently from Reddit.
Okay. Oh wow.
Yeah, Brandon, Jason Crampton, who um, has also done work for Adam Lawson.
Okay.
Um, Chris Guzman, who did one of the pieces for Underlord. Um, Alexander Milo, who did that Diesel Punk character, Duchess, that I just released.
Oh,
And
awesome.
then I have another person working on an Underlord piece, but he's
Hmm.
taken a couple weeks when it was just supposed to be 2 days for an update. So I'm getting a little
Oh
nervous
yeah.
about him.
Right.
But oh, I mean, the large majority of the artists I've worked with have been positive experiences. So
That's great. That's the important part.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man. So, how many projects are? Oh, like you already name dropped a few of your projects, but right
Yeah.
now you're working on three projects, but they're on the concept stage as we speak, right?
So Bump Back is obviously the furthest along.
Right.
Sunchild is second. There's some scripts done, and obviously he has a short coming out with the deluxe edition of Demon Hunter Raven Chapter 3.
Hmm.
um, Underlord. Well, there's another project I can't talk about that I'm writing for, uh, that I don't know when I'll be able to talk about, but it's moving along fairly well. I think art is currently being worked on for it. Um, Underlord, the Caretakers, and another project. We'll just say another project.
Okay.
The start of a graphic novel series. All have character art being done currently.
Hmm.
So I got three at the concept stage, 3 in production. So
Wow.
yeah,
You're a busy man, Paul.
I'm trying to. My goal is as soon when when I am out for summer vacation, I want to know that I can write constantly while making sure that I want to know that every day of my summer there is art being done for one of my projects. So I could technically only work on screenplays during the summer, but still be constantly making progress on comic work.
Oh, okay.
That's my goal, so that I can kill two birds with one stone.
Wow. So you do screenplays as well? Still?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I
How many
read.
screenplays have you done?
Oh gosh,
Wow.
a ton. Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, I say a ton, but probably around 10
Not bad.
feature
That's still a
films
lot.
and TV pilots. I've written
What?
two uh, feature films in separate 24-hour periods. Um, I can pump out work really quickly when the mood's right. So
Wow, dude. That's wild. Holy cow, man.
so I'm hoping that I can prove some storytelling ability with comic work so that I can pitch myself even more as a storyteller, so that Neil Gaiman has nearly the career that I want, where he has work for the screen done, he writes comics, he does novels, like he gets to do a bit of everything, and that's what I'm hopeful for. That's the career I want for myself.
Yeah, man. I believe that you'll get there, Paul. Because I mean, dude,
Thank you, buddy.
I'm so excited for all the things that you're doing right now, and the pace, and like everything that you're doing, man. I'm just so excited for you, buddy. I I'm rooting for you, man. I'm really rooting for you for all these projects that are just so awesome. I mean, just Bump Back in itself. If you guys have not listened in since the beginning, holy cow, man! You guys will be laughing out loud of the ridiculousness that Bump Back is all about. But what's your goal for Bump Back? How many issues are you thinking of, or are you gonna just do this 22-page comic, just maybe like a one-shot kind of thing, and just do like mini stories that you spoke about earlier in the stream?
So people are definitely gonna, if you enjoy the first 21 pages of Bump Back Flesh and Bone, you're going to love page 22, and you're going to want more very, very quickly. And then, without spoiling too much,
Right.
don't flip immediately to page 22 or I'll hate you. Uh, but my goal is to tell a overarching story across the books, but it's more of a story of growth than necessarily there's an ultimate big bad at the end, right? It's more of a story of growth for these characters, and so I want a collection of books that the first sort of collection of stories, this first sort of big multi-issue arc that we're going to tell
Mhm.
is titled Savior's Complex.
Okay.
And so I want you to be able to, if you have all, whenever Bump Back is done, if you have all the volumes on your shelf, I want you to be able to pick up Savior's Complex or pick up one volume, five volumes down, and not feel like you need to remember things. I want you to be able to read any of those books at one time and still be able to enjoy it. So almost like a mythology of sorts than just like a constant sort of Batman 80-year series. The 80 years of Batman. I want it to be like, okay, this is the story of the apex predators versus the Archangel Protocol or something like that. I really want to read this story, reread this story, or I just want to read the last volume. I can't really remember 100% everything that happened before, but I feel like I can still enjoy this like it is. So that's my hope. I'm sure it won't be 100% that, no matter how hard I try, because there's still going to be little things here and there by the time a final volume is there. But I am looking to tell some shorts, just because I want to save up some money so that I can just issue number 2 as soon as I know the script is good. Just here's all the money, please, knock it out now. That's the goal. That's the goal. And I think some shorts would be nice, because for the accessibility sort of deal that I was talking about before, I can just post those online. I don't need to put those behind a paywall or anything like that. If someone wants a little bit of bump back in their life, there you go.
Truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to have. I would rather have fun with my readers and not make as much. I want to still make money, right, but I'm okay not making as much if more people can enjoy the ride with me. I mean, there's an entire almost speech / toast. Well, I guess it really is a toast. That's going to be at the beginning of the book.
Okay.
Welcoming, all readers of this issue to the family, and encouraging readers of Bump Back to share the story with people who are interested, and make it a welcoming community where we find new readers and find new people to join our family here. So that's my goal. That's my goal as a writer and a creator, is enjoying the journey together.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, man.
I rambled again, but
no, it's perfect, man. I love people that ramble, because, dude, in real life, I'm not the most talkative person. I'm not saying I'm shy. I'm more observant.
I gotcha. I can appreciate that. I can respect that.
Yeah, so I mean, I love when people ramble, and I'm a type of person that I'm very curious of, like you, Paul, for instance, and everyone I have on the show. Like, everybody's interesting. I want to not only get to know you and even know what your book is about, but like, what are your goals? What are the things that are plans of your books? And not only that, but also other projects, And I get to know about it. Everyone in the stream gets to know who you are, and and they get to know you personally, and hopefully, if you guys are wise, you guys should start going and joining in the mailing list. I have everything down in the description below, dudes. So I'm having a blast. I mean, I'm enjoying the email list every time I get every Friday from Paul. So it's a joy to read, and just getting these news. I cannot wait for more. Honestly, I cannot wait for more. I think one thing is to follow somebody on social media and get to see these images and stuff. But just receiving an email personally from the creator themselves, like, you just have that connection. Is like an email, like your email is basically your phone number in that certain extension compared to your social media.
Very true.
So, Paul, thank you for your time, buddy. And,
thank you.
I wish I can get this done on stream, but, that does not mean I'm going to get it done behind the scenes from the stream. So, I had a lot of fun coloring this. Elliot literally hit it out of the park.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
So when you showed me this before you even showed the email, because I was pretending
Special
I
privileges.
special privileges, but I have to play the part. It's like, oh man, I'm excited to see Elliot's piece. And then Elliot just writes in the comments like, yeah, I'm excited for you coloring it. I'm like, gosh dang it, Elliot. You're not supposed to know about this.
To be fair, I did tell him.
Okay. I don't know. I was wondering is either you told him or is because of my live stream that I set it on for the next day. Either way, he was going to find out.
Of course. I was too excited. I had to tell him.
Yeah, no, man. I'm excited when you've reached out to me. So, allrights.ck page. Yeah, man. Calvary Collected dude. He's a great mod.
Yeah.
Channel,
So I've heard.
Yeah.
So I've heard. Definitely in the top 3. Definitely in the top 3 mods of the channel. I don't know how many you actually have.
I think I have. I think I have Calvary. I have Nick. I have Scott. I think I got Nefarious as my mod now. So far we got 4 mods.
So I think Nick is one, isn't he?
Yeah.
Nick
did
and
I say
Neo?
Nick? I gotta double check. If I did not put you as a mod, I'm most definitely gonna put you on as a mod, buddy, because you are a total regular here. And I know
he's got the wrench.
Well, he will have the wrench of power. See, way ahead of you like this.
So,
all right,
definitely
guys.
in the top 5.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you all so much for watching the stream. This is something new. I don't usually color while I'm talking with a guest. I usually either just color while I'll talk to you guys on the chat, or I have a guest on and, just getting to know the guest. But, this is a new challenge, We're doing something new in this channel. And, it's something new for me, a little challenging, but, I had a blast. And I hope you had a blast too, Paul, because,
of course.
Dude, I'm so excited for Bump Back, man. I'm just happy that this is gonna exist. Okay.
Heck yeah.
All right, dudes. So, just say your final words, Paul, before we'll say our goodbyes.
So, friends, hi. My name is Paul Tucker. I am the writer and creator of Bump Back, alongside the artist Brandon Palace. If you like the base level idea of monsters fighting monsters, you're going to enjoy Bump Back. If you are somebody who likes seeing character growth, or maybe you're someone who can never seem to escape the past that other people apply to you, or things like that, you're going to enjoy Bump Back. If you like absurdity, you're going to enjoy Bump Back. We have demonically possessed toasters, archangels who are wielding machine guns and have Brendan Fraser obsessions. We have a timetable spell that serves up a fresh serving of Hitler each night to the more bloodthirsty members of the group. And we have a lot of heart. It's all over the place and all connected in a beautiful way. If you're interested at all, you can, it's not quite a link, but you can look in the chat here, paultwrites.ck.page. You copy that, put that in your search bar there, and sign up for my mailing list. You're going to get info on Bump Back. You'll get info on Sunchild, Underlord, Caretakers, and anything else that might be coming out with my name on it. Thank you so much for watching the stream now or watching it later. And huge thank you to Ichthus. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for who you are and who you choose to be.
I love that quote, man. You gotta copyright that quote, man, because it's not gonna be the same if I hear somebody else say it. I'll be like, you're not genuine. You're not genuine.
Not at all. Just me.
You gotta meet Paul. All right, guys. You remember, dudes, as I always say on the stream, you guys ooze of excellence as always. Thank you to everyone that watched the streams from beginning, mid, or to the end. You guys, remember, always say excellent, dudes. God bless. Have an awesome weekend, guys.